Hail State, everybody. Welcome back into Dear Old State. Joel Coleman, Logan Lowry. We're joined by Mississippi State head softball coach Samantha Ricketts. Coach Ricketts off to a 4-0 start, staring down the barrel of a home opener. Exciting times.
Yeah, we're excited. It was a good start for the team. I love the way that we came out. I think they were ready to see somebody else across the field rather than, I think, our own pitchers and hitters. And they came out really focused, attacked. I thought played good Mississippi State softball, what we were looking to do, and excited to be back home with some good weather this weekend and have a little bit of a homestand before we hit the road again at the end of the month.
Kind of looking at the box scores, it seemed like maybe the only negative that you could see is, some of the games were run rolls, so you didn't actually get probably a couple of extra at bats that you probably want to get your players, a couple of extra innings on the mound. But looking at everything, I know head coaches kind of look at things. They want to look at they're critical. They see a lot of the negatives, but there were a whole lot of positives that came out of this weekend.
There were. I think we're really proud of the girls the way they came out. A lot of good things. Always things to work on, but
That's the head coach.
But yeah, I loved the way the offense came out and just really set the tone. Purposely had our veteran hitters there at the top, just knowing that they would be a little bit more relaxed going in, and just trying to use week one to get some experience for the younger ones, get the transfers mixed in. Obviously, almost a whole new pitching staff for us was going to be a big thing as well, and I thought they were excellent. I thought they really set the tone. Peja Gould with the start against Baylor, Alyssa Faircloth with some good starts as well, and getting Layla Ammon and Brinkley Morton in, because they're all going to be a big piece of our bullpen going forward. And just love the poise from all of them, the way they just mix and match, and to be able to do all that with our pitching staff without having Delaney Everett back yet was a good start and some good signs to see for us out there on the mound.
You mentioned Peja just missing a no-hitter in her Bulldog debut. It's a heck of a way to start. But just how big is that for her, this pitching staff in general, to just have that early confidence and just believe in yourself early on?
Yeah, it was a great start for her. She was just picked up right where we had seen her the last few weeks at practice. Had multiple umpires come up and tell me that I need to give them a heads up when someone's throwing a pitch like that. And, just love her confidence and her poise out there. And I think just for her to be able to play out there with that intensity and having their team behind her, I think that was something she was excited about as well. And just hopefully continues to propel that confidence into her and the rest of the pitching staff moving forward. And both her and Alyssa Faircloth, they have this intensity and this competitiveness to them on the mound that you can really see them get out there and just shine. And it's been fun to see them do that. And even the Wichita State game, the extra innings, I thought that was really good for us as well, to have some pressure on us and see how we responded. And they did a great job on both sides. I thought, Peja came in a tight situation and locked it down. And then the hitters, I think to their credit, typically we've seen where if we don't score right away, we love scoring first. That's one of our kind of core principles as an offense. And when we don't do that, and it takes, I think, 5-6 innings before we can really scratch a run across, sometimes in the past we'll press, we'll swing too big. Everybody tries to be the hero, and that was not the case at all. They were very confident, calm, under control, just kept swinging within the game plan, knowing that a ball was going to fall. And it was all started by a transfer, Anna Carter off the bench at the pinch hit single to get us started there and answer right back after Wichita State scored. So that was just a lot of good things to see and things that we expected from certain players. Even though she's new to us, I think just her poise and her experience as a hitter was something that we knew she was going to be able to provide in that situation.
And I guess congratulations are in order. Your 200th career win came this past weekend. The fastest softball coach in Mississippi State history to get to 200 wins. I think you're the 6th fastest head coach in Mississippi State history to get to 200 wins. How just rewarding is it to have so much success early on in your career? And not only, I know you have to pat yourself on the back a little bit every once in a while, but just the success that you've had as a program just in your first few years here to establish yourself as a premier softball program.
Yeah, well, thank you. It feels like, it's such a short time, but that I've been here forever at the same time. I think that's where it's so easy to get lost in each season and each game that you have to be intentional about taking a step back and just realizing what the accomplishment is. And to me, it's just thinking back to every player, all the staff members who've been a part of all of it. And that, it truly does take a village at this level to be successful and to do what we've been able to do here since I've been the head coach. And just proud of that and the growth that we've had, I think just kind of sustained success. And the fact that we're still not satisfied, that there's so much more we want to accomplish and that we're working towards, and that I can see that growth each and every year, and that if that comes in the next 100, 200 wins, I don't know, but that's the goal. And I think for us, it's something we're going to keep striving for, and just very thankful to have the resources, the people, the humans in the room when I do so. And for those former players who've been a part of so many of them, it just means a lot as well.
200 career win, 200 career wins. It doesn't happen this quickly without the consistency that you've built. And behind that consistency, I feel like, kind of outside looking in, there's a buzzword that always gets thrown around in sports: culture. And I feel like since you've been at the helm, I mean, there's just been a consistent, reliable, good culture within that program. I guess I would just ask, like, what is kind of the secret sauce that you guys have over there? Because it seems like, I mean, we only played 4 games this season. Seems like we're off and running again. But what is it about the people that are there, just the vibe within that room that it's just always seems so good?
I think we're just genuine. I think we are who we are. We don't try to be something we're not. And it's something that we're intentional about and that we work hard on. And, that we're also, I think I've learned a lot through my 6 years here now, into what building that culture looks like. And it's, I think, bringing in the right people. When we bring in transfers, recruits, staff members, whoever it might be, like, we've really started, in the past couple of years, really doing our homework and make sure they're not just going to be a great fit on the field, but off, and that they're going to bring a lot through the locker room. I think, just learning through lessons, if you look back, you're like, there's so many things I would have done different in terms of team or culture, and just continuing to learn from those mistakes and use it to make us better. And just, I think, very thankful that I've been surrounded by a lot of really quality people who've helped continue that culture. And, I give a lot of that power to the team, and I want them to also take ownership. Each team is different. You get, obviously, returners coming back, but it's always a brand new group. And it's the one year we talk about that this group will all be on the field together and play together. So what do they want out of this experience? What are the goals that they're setting? What are the standards we're going to hold ourselves to? Now, they're always going to kind of obviously fall in line with what the coaches and the staff want, but it's ultimately theirs to define. And we just kind of help facilitate that. And I think giving them that ownership and them knowing that they have a safe space to be themselves and that they can be who they want to be and that they're going to be loved and supported regardless of how they perform on the field, I think allows them to kind of be more comfortable and be successful in those moments.
How much has the continuity within the staff helped you get achieved where you're at right now? Because for so many years, I mean, there hadn't been a whole lot of staff turnover. You've had a lot of the same coaches on your staff. How much does that help you as you're building that culture that you talked about?
It's huge. I mean, I think with me, it has to be about people first. And it just, when, you've got people you just trust explicitly, Coach Bratton obviously has been with me every step of the way now for 12 years. And it makes it where it's just a team, it's the team behind the team. Coach Shaw is on year 4 with us now. And then Coach T is she's starting year 3 now. Had to confirm that one over there. But I feel like I've known her forever too, because I played with her after college. And so just a lot of trust between us. And I think the team can feel that. They can tell when we all get along, when we trust each other, when we're on the same page. And then, that's just the coaching staff. You've got the support staff behind the scenes with my director of operations, Jamie Desport, Alyssa Lozar, player development, Macy Simino, athletic trainer. They're all such big parts of our team and our culture. And I think the team understands that. If they're not comfortable, if they need something, they can go to Macy just as much as they could come to a coach. And they know someone's going to be in their corner and that they're going to be heard and taken care of. And to have people who have been around for a long, long time, I think with myself, has been really helpful for them, and just for them to feel like it's just a team behind the team and not just 1 or 2 people.
Want to get to, obviously, it was a big week for you last week as well, getting named as the head coach of American Samoa team. I want to talk about that in just a minute, but before we get to all that, I do want to kind of leave an open-ended question for you here a little bit with this year's softball team, this year's group, as y'all get set to play your first home games over here at News Park. What excites you about this year's team? I was sitting here debating, like, what questions do I ask Coach Ricketts to, deliver maybe some details to our fans and whatever, to get to know the team a little bit. But I'm just going to kind of leave it open-ended for you. What is it about this year's group that excites you, that you think maybe our fans would want to know?
That's a good one. I think what really excites me about this year's team is just the quality young women that they are. They are intense competitors. They honestly have elevated this team. I think this program, this coaching staff, we're able to push them more. They want it to be tougher. They ask for it, and we've we've made practice tougher than we have a lot the last few years because that's what they want and what they crave. And I think for them to have that just intense competitive drive and then to be such loving, caring people off the field is just really special. Yeah. They're all just quality young women who care about each other, care about this program, and want to do what's best for one another and just for non-selfish reasons. And I think I've been around long enough to recognize how difficult that can be to get all of that in one room and in one space together. So I think those are just two of my favorite things. Like, you wouldn't always expect it when you see the way they get on each other at practice, but they walk off the field and know that they've got each other's backs and that they're going to love each other through it.
Well, we've been fortunate to have you on over the last several years, and a lot of times we get you on right before the season, and I know you like to schedule those really tough tournaments to kind of come out of the gate, put in another one this past weekend and stuff. But, obviously there's a gauntlet coming ahead in the SEC. I mean, everybody knows how good this league is in softball and stuff. But when you were putting this schedule together for this year, what was kind of your thought process in putting this thing together, and how much are you looking forward to that first home game? Because there's nothing like playing at News Park.
Yes, every schedule is different, and it is, I think, always very intentional. This is the first year we haven't really gone coast to coast for some of these more kind of open tournaments, but we went on site, and just trying to play the other Power 4 teams was a huge part. So going to Baylor, playing a true road game against a Big 12 opponent was, we thought, just going to be a really good automatic test for the team. And to get against a true road crowd like they had Thursday night was a lot of fun. I think it just helps the team focus in right away and get a little bit of a feel of what conference play is going to be like when you play a quality opponent like them. And then same thing with the schedule when we go to Clemson, our next road trip. Just going to an ACC opponent, being able to be in a hostile environment. I know they always have great crowds, and really excited, I think, for that, which should be a good ranked matchup when we get up there. But before that, we also have some good challenges at home. We bring in a Big Ten opponent this weekend with Rutgers, and then we've got Belmont coming in the following weekend with one of the best pitchers in the country. So it's just trying to keep every weekend as a challenge, and with we know that any team can beat anyone any given day. And so that's always, I think, a message early on. It's just staying focused, controlling what we can day by day, and not looking too far ahead. But that each game is going to help teach us lessons as we get closer to SEC play, because that is week in and week out always a gauntlet. And every weekend is truly like a super regional. So we have to be ready to play and preparing ourselves for that.
Alluded to it earlier, but obviously big news for Mississippi State, and obviously for yourself, being named the head coach of American Samoa and things. Just tell us a little bit about that, and maybe how that came to be. How cool is it to be the head coach of American Samoa, and just what all that means to you?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think it's something that a lot of players in the U.S. with American Samoan heritage have talked about a lot, myself included, and just haven't really ever been able to see it get off the ground. And we'd always talked about how cool it would be, how good the team would be. And a lot of us have gone back to American Samoa. We've done camps, clinics. We've gotten a chance to work with the young softball players on island, take over equipment. It's something, I think, first time I went over was in 2012, 2011, 2012. My sister goes over quite often. We had a big group, including a couple Mississippi State players who went last Christmas. And it's just always been really cool to give back. It's such a small island that the amount of talent that comes off of it in terms of not just softball players, football, I mean, just the athletes and the genes in that Samoan heritage.
Pro wrestling.
Pro wrestling. There you go. Yeah, you can't forget it. But we're just all, I think, very proud. And the Samoan heritage is one that's really based on faith and family. And it's all about respect and, just honoring those who came before you. And I think it works really well in especially team sports. And that's why I think we continue to have players with Samoan heritage come through our program. It's just something that means a lot to me and to them. And they're just always great quality people and teammates. And it came up last year. We had Chloe Malaulu playing for Team American Samoa. They took a team to the mini games in Palau and actually won the whole thing, which I think kind of got everyone thinking a little bit about, hey, we could maybe make this happen. And there's some new leadership on the island with the Baseball Softball Federation that gave us the okay to create a team and a coaching staff with players more so on the mainland, and also continuing to mix in players back on American Samoa. So we started that process the end of last year. We've been meeting pretty much weekly now at this point to get this off the ground, because it is a lot of work. There's going to be a lot of funding involved as well. We're going to have to work on, but just to show that we're serious about it and that we want to compete on the biggest stage. There's just so many great players currently that play for Team USA, that play in college, that play professionally at the high school level, and to bring them all together and give them a chance to represent their family and their heritage is something that I know we're all really excited about and looking forward to building towards, just hopefully being a consistent presence on the international stage.
Well, people are familiar with like the World Cup in soccer, obviously the World Baseball Classic that's coming up in just a few weeks. How similar is that? Like, how does the softball one work?
It works very similar, and it'll kind of depend on which Olympic quad we're in. So right now we're in the LA quad for 28, which softball is a part of. So softball is not currently a full-time Olympic sport. It got taken off the docket a few years back. So now it's up to each country that hosts the Olympics if softball and baseball are included. So since it is in for LA 28, we are in a softball quad, which means the World Cup is back. And all of these international tournaments, basically the countries are playing for points on the WVSC level. So that's what we're working towards right now. We're trying to kind of raise our point status, which we just have to play. We have to play a lot of games, a lot of tournaments, and just be consistent, I think, is the big thing with that. So the World Cup of softball takes place next summer. And that is, I think, one of the first qualifiers for 28. And there'll be a couple other just on different continents. I think only 6 teams make the LA 28, so it's going to be an uphill challenge there. But I think for myself, I'm looking at it really just kind of long term and understanding the consistency needs to be there. The team needs to just be visible and seen and playing games. And whether that's working for 28 or 32, it's something that there's so much talent out there of these American Samoan players that we should be able to make this happen. And that's something that we think we've all committed to working towards.
So I guess my question: how do you balance all this? You sounds like you got a lot of work on the worldwide stage, and obviously a pretty big responsibility here at Mississippi State too.
Let's
you just
all
don't
team,
sleep
right?
anymore.
No, I really don't. I mean, really, it comes down to the team behind the team and the support, and we've got just a great group of people helping make this happen, and already kind of working on my staff. I have a staff in place that should be announced here in the next few weeks, and one of them, she's just been phenomenal. She does all the day-to-day communication with the players, one, knowing how busy I am, and then 2, just to make sure that we're that we're just staying compliant with NCAA rules, since some of them are current athletes. So really doing everything we can, make sure we do it the right way. But a lot of people behind the scenes working, and they understand that what I'm trying to balance, and they tell me what I need to do and what just don't worry about, and they'll take care of.
Well, it wouldn't be a softball show if I didn't ask you about Tyler Bratton. And from what I've heard, there is a rule in place in softball now to where an assistant coach cannot leave the dugout to argue with an umpire. Is that officially known as the Tyler Bratton rule?
It is to everybody except Tyler Bratton. That was a new rule that was implemented last year. He swears it is about another coach in a different conference, but everybody else believes it is after him. So he will tell you a different story than I do.
Well, and I believe, our SID extraordinaire Brian Ogden was telling us too, we have a rule for tearing as well. So everybody on the staff, I guess, outside of you, we got to get you and Zach a rule.
I'm the rule follower. They don't make rules for me. Yeah, the pitching lanes you see out there that the pitchers have to stay between are the Taryn Moat pitching lanes.
Yeah. So, oh man, a lot of fun over there at softball, and of course, you all can get a chance to see it this week. Lots of action going on at News Park. Tuesday at 4, correct, against
Yes.
Southern Miss, and then the Alex Wilcox Memorial and things
Snowman.
happening this weekend. The
Snowman,
Snowman.
yes.
So lots of good softball action happening over at News Park. Coach, we appreciate you stopping by. You have anything you'd like to say directly to our fans before we let you go? Put you on the spot, get them out to News
sales
Park.
pitch. I mean,
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
You
Sell
put
some
on your
tickets.
marketing hat.
Yeah, I mean, I think, if you've never been to a softball game, come on out, check us out. It's a lot of fun. It's fast-paced, 2 hours, and we're going to have some great weather tomorrow, this weekend, and we're looking forward to seeing a lot of people out there. Our goal is to pack the deck. I think it's a great environment when we get a whole lot of students out there, and it just, it's fun. You're right on top of the action with us, and I always kind of challenge anyone, if you haven't checked us out yet, come out to a game, and I think you're going to be hooked.
No doubt about it. Can't win them all if you don't win the first 4. She's won the first 4. The Dogs will try to add to it this week. Always appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you for stopping by, and best of luck to you in the week ahead.
All right. Thanks, y'all, for having me.
That'll do it for the show today. Appreciate y'all for joining us. Hail State!
Hail State.
Hail State.